Hey there. Okay, today we're gonna talk about healers, what types, kinds, and how to use them. Okay, so in order to start, we're gonna separate them for two categories. First of all, you're gonna have healers who we can use to heal other troops, and just gonna say a few words about self-healing troops as well because we have those. All right, so in terms of healers, guys, we're gonna have Water Maiden. We're gonna have Verleaf, Cleric, and also Archangel. Okay, that will be the characters we're gonna focus on in terms of healers, and then in terms of self-healing characters, what we're gonna say. Let me just very quickly check. If I miss something, don't be offended. Just pop it in comments, please, so I can add it to the next edition. Royal Guard. I wouldn't say that this is self-healing guard, but because they have self-healing character, but because they have this trick with their shield, which ultimately you can boost to 50% if I remember well. Yeah, so 50% of their health can be replaced every 20 seconds. If you surround them with a healer, they're really difficult to go through if they're properly developed. Anyway, so the sensation is like they're self-healing. We're gonna have Armor Troll, which again mixed with a single healer. It's developed with skills and everything. It's quite difficult to go through. We don't have to talk about this fellow. That's a bastard number one. We all love him. We all know him, right? So that's a number one self-healing character of the game, I reckon. What else? Vampire Queen also gets some health back after. Yeah, there you go. 70%. I wonder how much, potentially up to 80. Maybe 100. Ooh, that'd be nice. But she's not really reliable because she dies quickly, so. Alright, let's talk about healers. So I would say initially I'm not sure how with you, how the game is generous with you, but from a free-to-play player point of view, initial healers I got was those guys. Okay, and I had maybe one or two. I mean, you can check in playlists. Up to 6 months in the past of all my gameplays are there, so you can check how it looked like when I started. But for me, Verleafs were the first ones. Then I got, I think Water Maiden was actually the absolute first I got, and then I started having the Verleafs. But Clerics was, I had to wait a couple of months for Clerics. Anyway, guys, the first thing I want you to be aware of is that, first of all, on top of the fact that they're healing, they also have special abilities. Like Water Maiden, it's a character typical to counter all the fire characters. So, you see, she's working with burn effect. So she's clearing the troops from burn effect, and she's going to use that burn effect to get extra, to heal extra, and then it will boost her attack damage instead of burning her. So if you have a set with a strong fire offense against you, that's the healer you wanna use if you have. Now, if we talk about Verleaf, for example, he is boosting the defense of your troops. So perhaps you need that, perhaps you're not aware of it that he does that, on top of the fact that he's healing. Now, another difference between those troops, unfortunately, Cleric doesn't have any special abilities outside of the fact that he's the leader, the healer, sorry. But the one thing you have to be very aware of is how they actually attack and how they work with your army. Okay, so Verleaf will stay up front in the front line, and he will go with, with your wall, with your tanks. So you have to be aware how you position it so he doesn't die too quickly. He's very eager to fight, so he's going to push straight up. But that's how you want to keep him behind, behind a strong defense. While Water Maiden, she'll kind of stay a little bit on the back. She will have sometimes tendency to attack as well. Not really sure how is that you know, how to anticipate that she's going to actually charge. I haven't noticed any particular pattern yet, but if you have a proper front line, she's going to stay 2-3 places behind the front line, healing everybody around. Now also the frequency of their healing, it's quite different, because she's healing every, I think, 5 seconds. You can get that down to 5 seconds. Yeah, there you go. While he's just healing. See, so he's healing consistently while she has waves. So if she's getting attacked in between those waves, she's kind of rather useless, while he will still heal the troops around. So now cleric, cleric is the backline fella, and because of that, I kind of I like to use him very often as a frontline, as a tank. The only exception is when I have Barbarian or Oni against, because he's a one-shotter for those guys, so he dies quickly. Otherwise, he actually takes the initial attack, and then he gets replaced by the fellows who are standing right behind, by depending if do I use Mermans or Golem. But that's when he goes behind the front line, and I'm trying to place him there very often to support my Trickster, who teleports behind the line, and that way Cleric can actually heal him when he gets destroyed there, because Trickster is cool and fun, but he's completely unpredictable, so I'm trying to support him with that healer. Unfortunately, when you have sets 800k plus, that's kind of useless, so that's when Mermans with Verleafs works very well. So, if you're thinking about strong attack, you wanna, and we're talking about you're being developed slightly, so you have few of those characters. So what I'm talking about is your healers look like this. You have some characters to choose from. So then when you can build the setup, you can have 5, 6, 7 healers, all sorts. So for example, you can have 3 Verleafs, Water Maiden, and 2 or 3 clerics. Those setups are really, really difficult currently to go through. Unless you have Oni on rank 15, because you're pouring money out of every single hole in your body and you can afford it. Or you're from the country and you have massive discounts on it, because that's also the case. Anyway, so yeah, let's maybe do some examples. Maybe not necessarily here. I shall have some energy. Yeah, we have 50 energy. Let's go. Alright, so what are we going to do, guys? We're going to do something like this. I'm just gonna build like a standard setup, and we're gonna try all sorts of healers in between. Whoops, that's a mess. Sorry for that. Just so we can see how differently they're working through the mud. Yeah, nothing should attack me at the back here. It's a very, very strong front line, therefore we shall be able to counter it somehow. Fine, let's go like this. So as you see, Verleafs are sticking together and they're healing each other, and this is kind of key trick for that character. Because otherwise when they split they cannot really heal each other, and that's when the purpose of these 2 healers, it's kind of not met. Alright, so now what's going to happen if we do such a trick? You see, and while Verleafs are pushing forward with the front line, Water Maiden kind of holds back a little bit. Which in terms of building tactics later on high level, that's kind of a quite important detail. Also, you have to mind how you place them, how you place your healers in your set. I'm not really sure how to say it. Let me find different options so I can demonstrate what I'm trying to say. We need someone to attack us on the back. So what I'm trying to say that is, if you put this healer here and someone attacks you on the back, she's more likely to stick with the troops on the back to defend and also heal them, while the guys in front will just go forward. Sometimes all you have to do is something like this, and then the healer from the back kind of picks it up. So that's key information. I think you can see that on the last 2 or 3 gameplays I've posted, because I'm kind of messing with that concept lately. Anyway, you see, so Verleafs are actually taking the beating right now, while Water Maiden is completely untouched. We're gonna change those Verleafs for clerics in a moment, so you guys can see the difference. And yeah, very important thing, don't be afraid to experiment. You see, this game has... We can be very negative and be like, of course, this game is so imbalanced and yada yada yada, but it's not about that. You will notice that sometimes all you have to do is just change something in your setup and you'll be much more successful. Sometimes you have to just leave the setup and try a couple of times in a row to see that it's also, you know, the troops are not going every time the same way. That's what I actually like about this game. Okay, so as you see, we're getting beaten straight away, but our healing's supposed to do something. Maybe at some point they will do some healing. Bloody, come on. No, we're gonna die very gracefully. Yeah, there you go. But if we do something like this, see, so what happened is my mermen, they have attack boost. So, and I think Water Maiden is still kind of caught by it sometimes. That's why she's kind of healing pretty nicely that Verleaf, which is getting whooped there. That's gorgeous. Alright, what happens? No, we need to keep that guy because that's what keeps us alive. But we're gonna try one more thing. Well, it's not like super crazy. There is still quite significant damage. We're not getting, but yeah, I wouldn't rely on that. That'll be very good setup if you have anything attacking on the backline to keep them in front, because I'll show one more time, not sure have you noticed, they're not moving anything forward and the back troops are covering them straight away. Let's actually tease them a little bit, those guys. I wonder how that works right now. bang, and they're covered. But they're very much in front, you see, they're not completely at the back. Therefore, if my trickster will try to do something, assuming that he's still alive, we'll be able to see. No, I think that boy popped right on the beginning. Shit, eh? Well, still 3 stars, so I cannot complain. Anyway, so right, let us do one little overkill just so you guys can see what's going to happen when we will do something with this. Oh, come on, you. Have you guys noticed that sometimes when you have full set and you try to put a troop, then you cannot really find it and you have to close it and then start again? Let's go with this one. So, there you go. Is that? No. I have so many healers that emirs can't go through to fight. Well, there you go. 94% with 5 healers. So that's how it works. If you know, it's different when you start and you have 1 or 2 healers and you're kind of forced to use them and then protect them and defend them and everything, and then you have 7 or 8 and you have 3 of each kind and you can play and mess with them. You know, one thing I'll tell, it's they are the key characters, so if you have them and you didn't max their skills or boost their talents, do that, because this is the key for your survival ultimately. And always combine them, 2 or 3 together. And as you notice, if you put 5, it's a massive difference. Anyway guys, if you have any questions, please pop them in comments. Otherwise, hit that like to let me know, did you like it, did you enjoy it? I have another movie I'm planning to drop for last 2 weeks. I'm just trying to get my head around it, so expect it soon as well. And other than that, thank you for watching this and sharing your time with me, and I'll see you next time. Take care guys, bye bye. Okay, fine, I forgot that I didn't say anything about this little bugger. Okay, Archangel. The reason why I didn't say it is because I don't consider it as a healer actually, even though he has this kind of healing grace thing happening. But first of all, you have to be very, very high in your, or like a decent spender, so you need to be like in top 100 in arena in order to use this guy, or few of those actually. And you need to go stricter against ranged units who are just abusing your shields with enough projectiles that this bonus actually works for you, and it works as a healing. Because I personally don't have experience as a free-to-play player yet with this kind of setup, that's why it doesn't really exist in my mind. But watching the top guys, I know that they're using it. Perhaps if anyone of those guys is watching this clip, please let us know, is it comparable to other healers and considerable as healer, or more just as a defense unit providing a shield? Other than that, thanks guys, take care.